What Does It Matter podcast, a non-topical solution for your topical problems. Movies, pop culture, music, foul language, you got it. WDIMpodcast.blogspot.com. Also follow us on Twitter at WDIM Podcast. The fun never ends, and it's something real.
He's dead, all right.
No kidding.
He's so cold. Is the pizza? Oh. Well, life goes on after all. And eating makes me feel best. When I feel bad, and boy, do I feel bad. Oh. I feel better already. Really, I do.
This is the emergency podcast system. This is not a test. Movies are bombing all over the country. They are posing as movies you already know. They may already be in your theaters, your neighbor's home, or even your own. Do not panic. Specialists have been dispatched. They will help you identify these pretenders and defend you against this invasion of the remake. Please stand by for further instructions.
Welcome to the Invasion of the Remake podcast. I'm your host, Jason Bishop, and with me today, as always, is Sam Stepanenko.
Hello, hello. Are you ready to be massacred?
And back in the house, and so appropriately for Women in Horror Month, Trish Coughlin.
Yes. I was busy, looking at a bunch of massacres, and it was fun. Having slumber parties, getting prepped, really.
Right. Oh, well, I'm glad you made it.
Yes.
In more ways than one. And we've been leading you on here for a couple of weeks, saying yes, February is going to be Women in Horror Month, and now it is finally here. It is the 10th anniversary of Women in Horror, and Women in Horror also not just celebrates the women that make us scream and hide under the covers, but it's also an annual blood drive, and it's the 10th anniversary of that, so we hope you enjoyed this episode and all the other Women in Horror specials coming to the other podcasts on All the Horror, hashtag All the Horror, or follow at All the Horror 18 on Twitter to figure out all the shows that are getting involved. But make sure at some point this month you go to your local Canadian Red Cross or American Red Cross and donate some blood. It could save a life.
Yep, blood. It's in you to give.
Yes.
We've heard that before somewhere, haven't we?
True.
I have no idea.
And as we've seen with horror movies, there's a ton in you. So, you can spare some.
Yeah, that's right.
And at least it's voluntary.
It is.
Yes.
Because it's not so voluntary in this one.
No.
No, there's actually a lot of blood. Not a lot of gore, but a lot of blood in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, it was done fairly cheaply, but
And it was 1982.
It is. We're going to be talking about the Slumber Party Massacre. It was written by Rita Mae Brown, who's an active feminist and was trying to write a parody of the slasher films at the time, and directed by writer-director Amy Holden Jones, and she's very active in film even today. She's written stuff like Made to Order, Mystic Pizza, The Relic, The Getaway, a bazillion Beethoven movies.
She's created a couple TV series.
Yeah, she's created a couple TV series. It doesn't look like they've gotten past one or two seasons, but I've always liked her. I think she's... Yeah. We'll be hearing more now that she's show running other stuff now.
Yeah. Nice.
I think it's just a matter of time before something takes off. And really, the launching stuff now, especially if it's network, is probably not going to take off now. You kind of got to look at other platforms because it's so hard to grab that audience now on network.
And
it really is, and there's so many choices out there now.
Especially if it doesn't have capes.
Yeah, true. And it's one or two seasons. Sometimes you can get a really good series out of that. Like it'll be one of those ones where those little gems people missed and then they'll want. But yeah, it's hard. Being a successful TV show is like very, very hard.
I mean, I've watched spectacular shows that only ever had one season.
Blood Drive.
Blood Drive is definitely one
How
of them.
appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah. See, we get to bring it up again.
It comes
It
together.
never goes away.
It never will. Sorry, it just won't.
Someday, maybe, just our influence will be like, Blood Drive, we should bring that back.
I don't think they've stopped shopping it around. Hopefully they'll come up with another Grindhouse idea. It doesn't even have to be the same cast, except for one person.
Yeah. Ooh, but it could be like an American Horror Story sort of anthology thing where he's just in all the series as a different character.
I would love. Well, he could even be the same character. Just don't explain it.
Yeah.
True. And either or, it would work. It would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of explain how you could do it in the series.
Yeah, except they destroyed all those cloning vats.
They could work a way around that.
I suppose.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yes. We haven't said what
If
we're
you guys
doing.
don't know by now, oh my God, we've talked about Blood Drive on this show so often that just go Google it. I'm not going to explain our renting. It is beyond me at this point. If we haven't ingrained in it to you to go find this series and buy the box set, then I don't know.
We can't
You're
help
lost
you.
cause. We can't help you.
We cannot help
But what we can help you with today is The Slumber Party Massacre from 1982. And like I said, written and directed by Amy Holden. This movie, it's about 77 minutes, so it's not a lot of time suck
quick.
for you. It is a quick movie. It is rated 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb, and Rotten Tomatoes was less forgiving at 36% critic score and a 45% audience score.
Which is still pretty respectable for an 80s horror movie, to be honest.
Yeah, 80s low budget horror movie.
Yeah, and you know what? This was the story behind how this even got made is kind of interesting. I mean, the budget on this is super small. It's like $250,000, and then it box officed about $3.6 million. So,
Explaining why we got two more.
why we got two more, and they still kind of use the Slumber Party Massacre. There was one not that long ago, I think, called the Cheerleader
Oh, yeah.
Massacre or something like that. That's kind of a spin-off of this one. I don't know if it's officially so, but there's certainly, through the poster of that movie, it certainly looks like it takes everything from Slumber Party Massacre.
Certainly, and there was one called Sorority Babe Slumber Party
Yeah.
Massacre.
Yeah.
With
was
some of this
raged.
cast in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Man, when I was going through this cast, and I'm like, wow, there's not much to tell here.
No.
But it could be great fodder for some cheesy stuff. Because that's the ones that had other film roles, like, there was just kind of similar stuff to this. But yeah, this movie stars Michelle Michaels as Trish.
I'm a bit of a coward in this movie at certain points.
But you're the lead.
I am.
The second lead is Robin Style as Valerie, Sam's wife.
Val.
Val.
Trish and Val.
Trish and Val.
The other
This
hero,
might be
right?
familiar to our audience a little bit. There's some weird synchronicity going on here today.
Very strange.
And if you hear some like wind in the background, it's a very blustery day here in Calgary. So
And it was briefly blizzardy.
yeah, briefly blizzardy, which was kind of fun to watch. So yeah, that's what that is. But it'll just add to the eeriness of the episode, right? That was the wind. Michael Villela was the killer Russ Thorne, who was actually in a fairly prominent film called Wild Orchid.
Yeah.
And
He was actually, even though he didn't get very much dialogue, he was really actually interesting when he did speak.
he wasn't interesting any other time his face was on screen. I'm like, wow, did they give you a lot of coke?
You sort of got nothing from him, but I mean,
No.
I thought that was supposed to be sort of the point. Is It was
Yeah.
just so mindless and just crazy that.
But when he did get dialogue, he was actually really creepy.
Yeah, I'll run some in the after credits thing. I'll run some of that. How about that? Deborah DeLiso, she was Kim. Andrea Hanar, she was Jackie. Gina Sminka Hunter was Diane, and believe it or not, she's been we've talked about her in an episode before. Sam's been doing his homework lately.
I didn't do it on this one, though.
You knew Trish was coming back, and you could just sit back.
Oh,
and
I did some other homework. I'm guessing you're going to get to the big one that I did some homework on at some point.
Possibly, because this is the only one that relates back to an episode that I found. But
is it the coach?
No, it was this. This is Diane, the one that was sneaking in the boyfriend in the garage. She was in Sword and the Sorcerer, which is episode 41.
Oh,
Was she?
What was
I
she
looked
in
at her
that?
credits. I didn't see it.
She was in there. Probably just like a background player. I didn't actually write down what character she was. I certainly didn't remember it, and I doubt we ever brought her name up.
Well,
No.
and the thing is, she looked familiar. I'm like, I was going. I'm like, what have I seen her in? What have I seen her in? What have I seen her in? And I made a point of going to her IMDb, but I didn't catch that. It's
wow.
my bad.
Well, maybe that might be it, because if she was a background player, then it probably wasn't high up on her.
Well, I mean, that's true for most of these people,
But-
honestly. Jennifer Myers was Courtney. Joseph Allen Johnson was Neil. David Milburn was Jeff. Jim Boyce was John Miner, and you've seen him in Ed Wood,
Yes,
which was probably the most prominent thing I could think of him in. Pamela Roylance was Coach Jana. She's been in some stuff. She was in Her, which was an Oscar-nominated film, and The Social Network, also an Oscar-nominated film. And Brink Stevens, who's never been in Oscar-nominated anything, but
she's been in 192 movies.
Yeah.
insane amount of movies. And my buddy Rich would be very upset if I didn't say she was in Savage Streets, because that's his favorite movie.
Of course.
Shout out to Rich. And she plays Linda in this, and Rig Kennedy was, I'd have to say it because it was hilarious, David Contant.
Yeah. What was that last name? I've never heard it.
I don't know, and I actually liked the character John Miner as well, because every time he shows up, they go, John Miner. They have to say his full name every time. It's hilarious. I'm like, wow, your girlfriend's really formal with you.
Yeah, well, and it's, you could see in the movie where they kept some of the stuff from the original sort of parody script, right? Like that, everybody calls him by his full name, John Miner. There's like a few other moments, like the scene with the refrigerator. That had to be in the original script.
It works.
It's fucking funny.
Yeah, and I
loved
wish
it.
there were more of that in there.
Yes.
Because they are trying to make it more of a typical slasher movie. I know Rita Mae Brown, that was her intention for the original script, which was, I think, picked up by Roger Corman. And writer, Amy Holden Jones, she wanted to do, this was like her first directing gig, and she needed to prove something. She just blindly picks a script off of Corman's shelf. At the time, it had a different name. I think it was Don't Look something. I don't know.
If it's Don't Look Now, probably had to change it, because that's a much more famous.
Yeah, it was something. It was something similar to that, but it wasn't that. Yeah, so she picked the script. She grabbed some people to film about 10 minutes over the course of a weekend and bring it back. She got a few meetings, and they're like, "Hey, okay, we like what you saw. What we saw. Let's make this movie." And then she got really drunk because she was supposed to be editing a small little movie called E.T. for Spielberg. So she got really drunk and decided to be a director.
Oh, no.
Because it's the only way you turn down a good script like that. But, she'd been doing a lot of editing at that point, and she wanted to make a jump, and you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to make that sacrifice. It's a hard call. Because, I mean, you never, like, if you're doing editing all the time, you never know when that next one's going to be huge, right?
Yeah.
You're not sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if she hasn't done a lot of directing. As far as I could tell on IMDb, there was only 4 that I actually saw. Lots of writing.
Yeah.
Lots of writing.
Lots of writing. So maybe that just was a place where she had to figure out her career path and whether that was something she wanted. I don't, seems like a bug that she's like an itch she scratches once in a while, but isn't the driving force in her career.
Yeah, and you can tell that she was an inexperienced director when you watch this movie. She does some really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also some really sloppy stuff.
Yeah, and given her writing skills, it's too bad she didn't get a chance to make another pass at this script.
Yes.
To make it a little more coherent, passable, and just give the characters some dimension, any dimension, really.
It's a lot of it, all the characters are pretty flat.
Yeah.
I mean, Val's the only one who gets any kind of development, and that's just, she's the new girl.
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's about as far as it goes.
And she's also just sort of very much an outsider kind of at that point, and that's
Who happens to live across the street from Trish.
next door.
Next door.
Next door? No, she's across the street.
Isn't she? I thought she was next door.
Next
and then
door
she
is the
looked
name.
down the hill.
Oh,
at
next
them.
door
Is David Content.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we forget, I wanted to mention this in case we all forget. This franchise, Slumber Party Massacre 1, 2, and 3, is the only franchise where all the movies are directed by women.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to look in that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's unique in that as well.
Yeah. Now, I could see certain complaints. I've actually seen some horror documentaries where this movie comes up. And, I mean, this movie, much like slasher movies, is sexual in nature. In fact, metaphorically as well. There was an interview in one of the documentaries I saw where the directors basically says, well, what's wrong with women being sexual?
It's true.
They specifically focus on that at one point there, where the younger sister is looking for the Playgirl magazine.
Yeah.
And then later on, there's a point where they're talking about the magazine as well. I think that's part of what makes this movie feminist, is an acknowledgement of female sexuality.
Yeah.
Well, and the curiosity.
Yeah,
like when I was
absolutely.
looking at Courtney, I'm like, yeah, of course, if I knew a Playgirl was around when I was her age, I would be looking for it.
Yeah, she was at that kind of rebellious teen
Exploring
stage where
it,
she
yeah.
still, her character was weird. I didn't know how to take
Yeah.
it because she looked older than I think she was playing.
Yes.
Yes.
And
They all did.
they all did. But that's typical in film. But
Especially with that much nudity.
yeah, and I think the script would have been fine even without that nudity. It was just something exploitive of the time, right?
Well, that was sort of some of it. I think the only reasons anybody ever said anything is because sometimes when you're looking in the nudity, like I know there's one where they're in the shower and like it's just basically a pan up and a pan down, and I'm like, this feels like a note from a studio where you're like, we need to have these shots in to make this
It was
movie.
pandering.
It does a little bit,
And-
but it's interesting because most of the nudity, as much as there is in a non-sexual way.
And that's
It is,
what makes
but
it gratuitous, though.
Yeah,
It's
it is
sexual
gratuitous,
from
yeah.
but the shower one, like when they're changing, I get that. I'm down with that.
Oh, I mean, she's definitely pandering to an audience.
But the panning up and down in the shower, it's not the fact that it's like non-sexual because she's showering. The camera is the eye that makes it sexual.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, no,
It's
I mean,
not the same
she knows
thing.
who her audience is. This movie is called Slumber Party Massacre. It's
Yeah.
got a bunch of pretty girls. She knows this is going to be watched by a bunch of
Well,
teen men.
And honestly, I thought I was going into a strange area. Well, not a strange area, but like an interesting area with like Trish and Val. Because I mean, like there's this look that they're sharing like in the shower, and I'm like going, maybe there is something between them. Like there's this sort of sexual tension they have that
I
they
was
don't
hoping it
know.
would go there.
That's what I was hoping, because I mean, like how it would be confusing. I don't know. Like you would be like, I feel something, but I don't know what it is. Like, I mean, at that age, there's a lot of stuff happening. Like your hormones are going like bonkers.
Yeah, and then for her, because she was kind of, I don't want to say obsessed, but she was very interested in Val, and it didn't really take that very far.
Well, there's no real story yet. Like here's this new girl who moved in across the street. She's new to the school. Trish is trying to be friendly and invite her to the party while her parents are away, the slumber party, although their parents are very aware that the slumber party's happening. And there was this weird scene at the beginning where she's packing up all of her toys. Like today was the day she decided to
Yeah.
be an adult.
Yeah,
and then put them in the trash. I'm like, whoa, what about eBay?
I wrote that down.
It's the
I'm
80s,
like,
no
I
eBay.
never put my stuff like that in the trash. I stored it away because there were several options that I had in my head. I'm like, okay, maybe I get older. I give them as gifts to younger children.
Yeah,
You
or-
don't throw them out.
No, or pass them to
Or donate them. You don't do that.
Your hopefully new friend Val across the street has a younger sister.
Yeah.
Like there's people you could give that stuff to.
It was there for one purpose and one purpose only, to set up the bit with the doll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, there was a doll that got used later for a bit of scare tactic, and even then, I couldn't quite make out what the hell happened with the doll. It was just kind of sticking in the window.
Yeah, I
couldn't
didn't get it.
Tell exactly what was happening with that.
Yeah,
Why is that creepy?
I don't know.
it was one of those things that didn't
There was
make
no
sense. It
payoff.
didn't really fit into the context of the movie in any way.
No.
Right? It was just a payoff from an.
Well, it was supposed to be a scare gag that didn't really work.
But taking stuff out of your, just deciding that day is the day, no.
today I'm an adult because my friends are coming over and I don't need them to make fun of me.
And you know what? That's what I thought was kind of happening.
Stuff them under the bed.
Yeah.
Well, if you put them in the closet, that's what you do. Anything you're
Or in
ashamed
the basement.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't throw them out. You put them somewhere else.
You can tell that there's some regret in tossing some of that, like that. Yeah. But there's always that as you're growing up and letting go of your childish things that it's sometimes hard to let go of. But even then, she was still at that age. You're like, just stuff it in the closet for now.
Well, remember in the part of the movie where Courtney's looking for the Playgirl, she goes into Val's room. What does Val have on her bed? 2 Raggedy Ann dolls and a bunch of other stuffed animals.
One of them was Annabelle.
Yes. But she had dolls and she had stuffed animals in her room that she didn't get rid of.
Which is stuff that you'd still have at that age.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, even it's at 17, 18, you're not entirely ready to give up childish things.
Yeah, and if you've had them your whole life, you're like, what does one do with these? You don't throw them away. You just can't. They're too much a part of your childhood.
I still have my childhood teddy bear.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I have my Raggedy Ann.
Don't. I kind of wish I did, but I have all my Transformers. Now,
There you go.
now that's just an investment.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, see, but that's part of it too. Like, boys would have those things. Like, there's a couple things I miss from my childhood that I'm like, I wish I still had that thing.
Yeah, no, there's definitely stuff from my childhood too that I wish I had that thing, but you know, that's hindsight and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, but a number of them passed on. I did exactly what I said. I gave them to like people who had children.
But I think we've kind of hit on something where essentially every character in this movie needs to be developed because they're just people with names, and sometimes you don't even learn those.
Yep.
Well, before we started, I'm like, who was the blonde one?
Oh,
Because she didn't seem different.
I kept wondering what the name of the black girl was, and I just decided it was Jackie because it was the only one I didn't attach a name to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it wasn't until I was like doing my research for casting and I was going through the original IMDb cast. I'm like, okay, I look at the photos. I'm like, okay, I know who that is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So there wasn't a lot. There was no character development.
None at all.
I wonder if there was more. Like another pass at the script would have maybe given more development. It would have just been...
Well, I mean, it's not like there wasn't room to do so, because like I said, it's not
it's
even
short.
90 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
it's 77 minutes. So you could spend some time with setting up these characters a little bit. I mean, the only setup with the killer is like, yep, this psycho guy is escaped jail and is
It's the
on the
newspaper
prowl.
article and the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just pops up. I think they do it 3 times.
Yep.
In the film.
And they don't
the rule
explain
of threes.
much except for the fact that he's escaped and give you his name.
Yeah, that's about it.
And the fact that he had killed 5 people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the newspaper had the killed 5 people. That's the only reason I knew about the 5.
Yeah.
The movie's kind of very Halloween-like. I'm going to run the trailer here. I'll let you guys decide if it is very Halloween-like I think it is. But we'll come back and we'll talk some more about this, and then we'll roll into some of our thoughts about how to remake this.
The basketball team is planning a party. A slumber party to bare their souls.
No, I think your tits are getting bigger. Mine?
All the girls are coming, except Mary and Linda. And they won't be missed. The party begins at 8 o'clock. It's a slumber party for old time's sake.
Love it too. Do you think I'm getting better?
But be on the lookout for an uninvited guest.
Please, Seth, please.
When the pizza arrives, things really start jumping. Some people may have to leave early, but others will hang around and hang around.
Courtney, you're underage. Negative. Let's go.
You're not going to eat the dead guy's pizza.
I feel better already. Really, I do.
But for those who stay, there'll be plenty of surprises and non-stop action. One thing's for sure, no one's getting getting any sleep the night of the Slumber Party Massacre. Close your eyes for a second and sleep forever.
All right, that was trailer for Slumber Party Massacre 1982. Mm-hmm. I love those ones where they just like lots of narration and it's silly.
Yes.
Yes. You don't really need to watch the movie. The short is the trailer.
Yep. Oh yeah, I was like running the trailer, and sometimes I think I should just leave the mics on when the trailer's going because, like, oh look, boobs, more boobs, like all the nudity's in the trailer.
So we were talking those special '80s boobs with the tan lines right around them.
Yeah, you said I'm like I used to wear those clothes.
Oh yeah, like the little kind of when she wakes up in the morning, that first scene, I'm like going, oh, the little baby doll thing. Like, but I gave that thing up well before 18.
Did you have the orange shorts?
We had blue shorts with yellow stripes along the side. That was our gym kit in Stapley.
Yeah, I didn't understand why she was wearing her gym wear all the way through the movie.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think that was supposed to be her sleep outfit, but it felt like she just hadn't changed after her track and field.
Yeah. Well, these were. Well, that was Courtney who was wearing that.
But you can have.
And
you would
all
have
the rest
other
of the
shorts
girls were the basketball team.
Yeah, you would have your other shorts that you'd have at home. Like I could have a pair of red shorts and a t-shirt. And I love the 3/4 length shirts that were like the baseball shirts.
Yeah.
That was definitely something I slept in.
Courtney was up and coming jock chick.
Yeah, she.
Since her big sister was on the basketball team, maybe she's got some hero worship going on there.
Yeah,
I think so.
Oh, that basketball scene was so painful.
Yeah. Some of the girls knew what dribbling was. Some of the girls, I'm sure, didn't know what a basketball was. It was I know you have to cast for something, and I know you're casting for looks, but honestly, there had to be some attractive women who knew how to play basketball.
Or at least could fake it well enough to look at least semi-realistic.
Yes.
Yeah. Or just, have some games before you shoot it.
Yeah.
Like, get in there. If you're the gym teacher, you suck. You have failed as a teacher.
Well, I mean, the gym teachers, is it a completely extraneous character anyhow? She serves no discernible purpose except for that to show up and die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'd say that about most of them.
That is most of the characters, which is pretty tropey slasher flick stuff anyhow.
I mean, Jesus, some of them don't even get introduced until they show up to the party.
Right.
I'm sure there was in the shower scene, maybe.
Yeah, they were all. There's the clueless scene where they're all walking together out of the school, which is the only time you see Brink Stevens.
Well, she's doing repairs on the phone line. Even though she seems the same age as everybody else in that movie. But
it seems like she's slightly older. Like I'd say, like maybe she's 21. She went to do her apprenticeship. She would be about the right age.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, that wasn't Brink Stevens.
Yeah, Linda was Brink Stevens.
Yeah, but the Linda wasn't the telephone person. Linda is the one who says, "I don't think I can make it. My parents are really on me."
Oh yes.
About my grades. That was Brink Stevens.
I thought
the telephone repair lady didn't get a name.
Telephone repair lady, but I mean,
sorry, I went down the IMDb rabbit hole. I
guess the trailer made me confused because they say Linda when show her.
Yeah, that's
so.
Yeah, but Linda's in the movie for literally one scene, and that's the scene where they're walking out of the.
What a waste of Brink Stevens!
Right?
Yes, but this is only her second or third role. And if you look at her IMDb, I'm going to keep going back to that. But like her first 10 movies, she's like uncredited. Extra,
I don't think she ever turned down a role.
No, which is smart when especially if you want to be one of the original screen queens. Really, with 192 movies, I think she's outpaced Liana Quigley.
Ooh,
who is probably one of the most famous.
Oh, when I think of like screen queens from that era, those are the two that first come to mind.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. She was just kind of starting out. This is like only her second or third role.
Yeah,
right? And her first one with dialogue, which is the the throwaway line there.
Right.
Yeah, but telephone lady, and then it sort of just happens, and he just wanders around, just in places.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Her sole purpose was one, to be the first kill, and two, to get him his chosen
weapon.
Penis substitute.
Yeah, because telephone repair people have giant fucking drills.
They do
really
through foundations and through walls. That's what that's what that drill is for, is to drill.
Yeah, that looked like a concrete drill.
Yeah, it was. There's no question, right? But that would be for drilling through a foundation if you're putting a new line in, kind of thing,
right?
So that you can go through like a 1.5 foot deep foundation.
So at least there's some accuracy there.
Okay.
Nice.
Fair.
Yeah,
Would
no,
you
it
be
is a
doing
tool
it by
you would,
yourself?
that you would maybe not in that particular truck, mind you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would see that in a telephone truck or a cable truck, potentially.
Right.
That was the other thing that sort of bothered me is that truck was largely empty except for that one implement.
Yeah, you would expect to see a lot more tools and equipment in
More
there.
wire, more tools, just it's just some set deck.
Yes.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
But they had a budget of $250,000. They probably could barely
know.
afford the van.
But in this instance, when we're making it for ourselves, we're doing more set
We're
deck.
going to stock up
making-
that damn van.
And
Yeah.
the actual scene where she dies, maybe let's dress that up a little bit, have her fight back a little bit more. Maybe put some wires in there. I don't know. Do something with it.
Yes. Yeah, well, all of the death scenes we could have a lot more fun with.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to turn this back into a comedy.
Yeah.
For me, I want more of that cabin in the woods, Whedon-esque kind of Drew Goddard type of
Yeah.
character development.
Yeah.
So you really enjoy the characters on screen when nothing's really happening as far as the kills and stuff goes. So you're still enjoying the diatribe between the characters.
Well, and there's parts of it I thought that was happening. Like when the two perverts show up, that really slows down a lot of the pacing.
Yeah.
There was a moment where they're all kind of sitting around just reading their horoscopes, like having a slumber party. The actual slumber party portion of this movie is almost nothing. I need more of that. I think I would like to see that.
well,
and then you can develop those characters.
Yeah, the two boys, like, it's almost like the girls expected them to show up. You know, they're not boyfriends. They're there to just cause a little terror and frighten them. It's a very childish thing to do, really.
Yeah.
It's one of those 80s tropes, the whole peeping Tom thing, where it's
Yeah.
like guys go to sorority houses and slumber parties to peek in the windows and hopefully see some boob.
Yeah.
Right? And they do. And that's probably the only time in the movie where the nudity fed the story at all.
Yeah. I love where they say, well, like, what if we get caught? Well, run. We both failed gym 3 times. So I'm like, okay, I'm keeping that because that is all the character development I have to grab onto.
Yeah.
I have to keep it in there because it's important.
Because at the end, they're supposed to go running for help, and they fail gym. The girls are on the basketball team. They're the athletes. What the fuck?
Well, and that feeds back to the whole original concept of it being a movie about strong women.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the message gets so mixed.
Yes.
Right? Because you have these really great moments where these characters are strong women and they are the protagonists of these films, but then they weaken them later at other points.
Like Diana at the point where John Minor scares her and she throws him on the ground, and then she has such an unceremonious death. That pissed me off. I was like, why? Why? She had capability. Give her a fight scene of some kind. Like,
Yeah,
more.
and we will. And that's what really bugs me about it. Like, these are supposed to be stronger, kind of the jock women, the more popular women in the school. But I feel like they're more take charge type of people. I mean, you do need some to die. And it seems like they happen so quick. Like, it's more out of stealth. Open a door, he does a slash with the drill bit, and somebody gets gutted, or the poor pizza boy.
Yes.
But we
I
have
felt
to
so
keep
bad.
the pizza boy.
We do.
We have to keep the pizza boy.
Because you have
He
to
gets
keep
his
the part
eyes
with the
drilled out,
pizza.
and the pizza scene is the best scene.
I looked at that
You
and I'm
know
like,
it
I
is
do
because
that.
that's what I opened the opening clip was.
Yeah.
Because it is fantastic. Well, life goes on.
Yeah, and that's again where you
I'm
see
hungry.
the parody coming out of the original script.
Yeah.
Right? Is obviously Amy Jones went, I love this scene, I can't take it out.
Yeah.
like the refrigerator.
The refrigerator scene
and the
is great.
scene with the skill saw.
Yes. Yes.
Because you
So
saw,
reminded-
I saw that
it was
coming.
so funny though.
That reminded me of one of my 31 Days of Horror thing where the guy's like grabbing the weapon and then he's like, oh shit. I can only go so far.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that bit.
That almost needed a pratfall. Yeah.
I think I've seen that parodied before in something else, not just on the third way. It's been done a few times, I think, after this
Yeah.
one, because it is a good bit.
It is a good bit.
Yeah, especially as the audience can see it coming. And you're just waiting for the moment, right? And she gets so far before it comes to
That's a big extension cord.
It is a big extension cord, which I also liked because it wasn't like you were going, okay, maybe she's going to make it. They actually give you that.
It's actually good that the plug came out of the wall rather than the pratfall, because that could have ended badly.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, but I like the fact that they give you that. She actually did a good job of giving you the sense that she might actually make it, because she makes it so far.
Yeah.
And then, boonk. and her reaction, it was like I'm so dumb, I should have known better. Right?
Yeah, well, and then she lands on the guy too. She's like, I'm so dumb, I should have known better. And like, oh, gross, I'm on the dead guy.
Yeah.
There's so much to be done there. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be more comedy in here.
Wait,
and,
Linda was the one in the school that got trapped in the school at the beginning.
was that her?
The one that gets
Yes.
yeah, she's the one who gets. I there was a scene in there I really liked, because I'm like, oh my god, she's almost smart. She's hiding in the closet. She's been injured already.
Yeah.
She's been badly hurt, and she's bleeding pretty badly. But she's hiding in the closet, and she's trying to sop up the blood from going underneath the door.
Yeah.
Unsuccessfully, but I'm like, it was just a nice little thing. Like, okay, she's still got
She's
a presence
thinking
of
about
mind.
things.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, got to keep that, because I so liked that.
Yeah, and it goes back to that whole mishmash, the confusing messages. Is you have this woman who's in peril, but is still thinking of ways that she can try and save herself.
Yeah.
Right? And those are the great moments in this film. Are these moments where these girls are inevitably going to die, but they're fighting back in whatever way they can, which would be in this case. Sort of
You're just trying to outwit him.
trying to make sure that he doesn't discover her, right?
Yeah.
Which is sometimes all you can do. I mean, it's typically unsuccessful in slasher films, but
Yeah, or this one kind of starts out as a slasher film. Like, I'd like to see it morphin into a women in revenge film,
Well, what I'd like to do
which
is,
it kind of does at the end, just not very well.
Well, I like the idea of kind of these women coming together, like when all three of them are going at him to take him down.
Yeah.
That's something I'd like to keep. But when we're talking about like a parody and have more of the humor of it, I kind of want this guy to... It's like these women are fighting back, but the tiniest mistake and he fucking just lucks out. He doesn't kill them because he's the more powerful. He's just lucky. And that would be a great parody where the killer is just simply fucking lucky.
Yeah, because I think once they become aware of him actually in the house, like, that's home turf at that point.
yeah.
Like, there is, okay, well, he's not going away. We got to lure him into traps, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Stuffed animals can come back in this point too. Like some of the childish stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a fun bit with that drill and a stuffed animal, right? I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do make such a point of making that drill the manhood, right?
Yeah.
And when they cut off the drill bit with the machete, it's like chopping off his manhood. So, like, well, I mean, the metaphor is there. Why don't we just do it?
Yeah. Well, I love the part too where she's smart enough at that point when he's a little distracted. Okay, taking off the hand. You don't have a hand. Good luck with that, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
The end of the movie is actually probably one of the stronger parts because it kind of brings everything together. But there's something I have to mention about Trish. Is she, all the way through the movie, she always seems kind of mad. There's very few moments there where she's not. Like,
That is so unlike Trish.
We should keep that in the film. Let's make it accurate.
but
Because I was mad when she hits him with the bat. I'm like, damn it, Trish, you keep hitting until he doesn't get up.
yes, me too. I was actually thinking the exact same thing.
If there's not mush on the floor, you haven't hit him enough.
Yeah,
Right? I mean,
Exactly.
he's just gonna get up.
yeah, especially considering it's a slasher flick.
Yeah.
And the other bit is like, why would you not keep hitting him? He's got a drill. He's killed your friends. Like, are you sad to try and kill somebody who tried to kill
when
you?
she knocks him out, he's only out for like 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, he's not out for long.
No.
At all.
Like they don't even, one of them doesn't make it to the door.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the same when he gets hit with the rubber fire poker.
Oh, I know, right?
That was when we talk about some of the bad stuff that Amy Jones did. That was some of the bad stuff. I mean, that poker was so clearly rubber when it was hitting him.
I was expecting what I could like to do with the coach is that she's got like some fencing knowledge. There's a fencing coach, and that would have been interesting to do.
That would have been really interesting. I like that. Let's keep that. Right?
Sure.
And instead of basketball, they're fencing.
Well, we could just see him do a couple of different.
Yeah, like
sports.
I mean, well, in high school
They're on a couple of different teams.
you're always rotating sports.
Yeah. Well, and they even talk about that in the movie.
Yeah,
That
they're going to
switching over to
baseball.
baseball.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you could have.
Because we had archery and we had archery and lacrosse and basketball and baseball.
But fencing would be a lot easier to fake than basketball.
Yes.
Well, if they're fencing, then it looks like these women got some self-defense skills.
Again, which feeds into the tension that we want to build, right? Is if they're already at least somewhat trained in self-defense of some sort. Right?
Exactly. And like I say, it's supposed to be an accident. They just make one small error and this guy just lucks into a kill. Because then it's funny.
Yes.
So let's go into these girls one by one and try to decipher what we think we know about them based on what little they give us. And let's try to expand their characters a little
Yes,
bit.
please.
Let's do that.
Absolutely.
Because I think those will be fun because there's so little to grasp onto. So it's all those little bits in the movie. I'm like, okay, those are the
nuggets.
things we got to pull those nuggets from. Pulling the nuggets. I'll let that sit there.
Okay, that stays in the film. That guy just keeps pulling his nuggets.
Okay, the top bill was Trish. And we know she's a popular girl in school.
Yeah.
Her parents have gone away. She's embarrassed by her childhood.
Yes, she wants to be a grown-up.
What else do we got in there? And she's kind because she wants to bring this new person into her party.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's that argument in the gym lockers, and Valerie overhears from over the other side, and wasn't going to say
Diane, because Diane's a bitch.
Yeah. She also allows, she kind of allows her friends to walk over her a little bit, which isn't right.
And I think, and I agree with Trish on the fact that I think that she's confused about her sexuality.
Okay.
I would really like to play up on that.
Okay.
Right? Because she's at that age where it's like, who am I? Right?
And you know how you talk about these boys, they aren't boyfriends, but she's always surrounded by boys, but there's not really any boys that she's seeing.
That's right.
I like that might be good to play with. Yeah.
And I think when you're talking, if you want to keep the intent of the original film, which is sort of these strong female characters, I think that having a character who is confused about their sexuality is not going to do any harm.
No.
I think it'll strengthen that character a lot, actually, if she's acknowledging her attraction to another character and unsure how to act on it.
Okay.
And, when we're talking about the theme of the drill as, like, the manhood, this really also feeds into the fact that, like, she's not interested in that drill.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. And the metaphor goes further.
It does go further.
Yeah.
And you get some
And
chance.
horror should be that way.
With some really great dialogue at the end there, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can hear it in my head.
Yes, exactly. Right? And I'm hoping that our audience can, too.
So, like, you want this to happen. You want this in you. And she's like, no, I don't. It's not my jam.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't and the thing is, you don't even need necessarily have Valerie be gay either. Valerie's just the object of
Do you think,
desire.
The metaphor of not just the drill, but innocence and blood is that first sexual experience?
Somewhat.
I don't
There's
know if
not
that's
too much blood.
No.
Basically, the first time you have your period, that's the horror show.
Oh, that's Carrie.
But yeah, as a girl, that was terrifying, more terrifying than anything else.
Right.
But Courtney too, what we could play up too is like her sexuality is kind of fight. Like she knows she likes boys, but like to have those little misdirects where she's playing dead and playing jokes on her sister, that still stays. Sorry,
yes.
I was just thinking of that. But yeah, having the object of desire be someone who may not unrequited love also. That's high school. That's all of high school.
Yeah. I mean, I think these are great character developments for her. There's a lot just kind of subtly sitting there that can be expanded upon. Okay, let's move on to Valerie, the neighbor, and the next big protagonist here. The one that's invited to the party but doesn't want to go because her friends are bitches.
Yeah.
Well, her one friend. There's only one friend who says who's a real bitch.
Yeah.
Right? And I definitely want to play that character up.
Well, and I want to see like there's a competition between who actually leads this group of girls.
There's a dominance.
Yeah.
Is it Trish or Diane?
Yeah. Right. And I think that would be something fun to play on, and some of that cattiness. I mean, that might make her kind of a more of a typical bitch type character, but we can give a few more layers. That's one more than she already has.
Right.
Yes.
So
yeah, because really her only layer is that she's a character and a bit of a slut.
Well,
not a slut because she only sleeps with the one guy.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I wouldn't say that. But
Actually,
she's willing to blow off her friends to go
it's
sleep
funny
with the
you say
football.
that,
But-
because there's a great bit there that I want to keep where she's talking on the phone and they're listening in, and she says, "Do you think I'm getting better at it?"
yes.
That has to stay.
The blowjob conversation.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that has to stay because that's something that I assume happens. Is am I getting better at doing these things that I'm doing?
Yeah.
It's-
Well, it'd be. I mean,
it seems natural.
In a
It's-
lot of ways, there is some coming of age.
Yeah,
stuff
there's a lot of
happening
coming
in
of age
this.
stuff here, and that's
Yeah, I mean, all of this is very new. You're like, yeah, I mean, nobody comes out the gate knowing what they're doing.
and some never learn.
Exactly. And then there's some like Trish who barely have no desire to learn.
Yes,
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But I would kind of like Diane to be like, I would like to add it sort of a thing going like, are you ever going to return the favor?
yeah, no, I would absolutely add that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that sounds like she would say,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. But what's funny though is there was a little bit of a moment where she wants to go, but she's like, I'm going to talk to them first, because the other thing is like she wants to leave and she is going to leave, but she does ask the other group.
There's
Like,
a
it
level
was-
of respect.
Yeah, I can't ditch my girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, which again, it seems very genuine. Like there's all these bits in this movie that feel so genuine that were obviously really well written.
Look better on paper than on screen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Could add more.
Yeah. Okay, so Valerie, new girl. I mean, the innocent character.
Yeah. I think their parents are sort of absent, or their parents are divorced and the one parent is absent, which is, it's just her and her sister.
It really does. I mean, why is her folks gone too? Everybody's parents seem to be
I
gone.
think she's more of a surrogate parent to her sister. I think that's part of the reason is she's taken on this parental responsibility.
Because they probably have one parent and who's always working or always away.
Yeah, they just a throwaway line saying mom's at work, she'll be home after her midnight shift or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And she
And
also,
we can even have like the girls gossiping about like Valerie's parents had a divorce and that's why she's in
Yeah, they
this
can really
new
amp up
town.
that scene where Diane's being a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where she's like, well, yeah, she's only got one parent and she's just a nurse or right.
Yeah, we should have long shifts. And,
And overnight shifts and kind of
Overnight
like that.
shifts, yeah.
So just and that fills in that hole right there.
Yeah.
Right. They know just enough about her to be catty about her without really knowing what she's like.
Yeah, and it sets up why her parents aren't, her mom isn't there.
Yeah.
yeah, because there was also the other throwaway line is like, I wish they got divorced before you were born.
Yes. Yes, and
Yeah.
it's because they do kind of set it up there, so you can really play that up and set it up a little bit better. I think that there needs to be more interaction between Trish and Val before that scene, though.
Yeah.
I think
it should be right away in the opening before they go to school.
I was just thinking the same thing. They live across the street from each other.
Exactly.
Trish sees Val out there because she's
dumping her toys in the garbage.
Well, we'll fix that somehow.
Hey,
But-
can I have that stuffy for my sister?
Yeah.
Or she's like, I have one of those.
Yeah.
And that, you know what you could have was like, I have one of those.
And then it makes her
she
change her
sort of-
mind and puts it back in the
She puts it in the garage.
The garage, yeah.
And
yeah, I like that.
We talk about the doll, like the Barbie. Have you ever been hit with a Barbie? Those things fucking hurt. I would keep something with that.
There's a lot of pointy bits.
Yes.
Well, they're
And
hard plastic.
Yeah, like the bodies are really hard plastic.
You could hurt somebody with that.
Ooh, I like that stabbing with a Barbie.
Yeah.
Or somebody else gets stabbed with a Barbie.
Yeah, well, and
The Barbie's sticking out of the pizza boy's eye.
that would make more. That would actually work really well. And I had a way for you could work the Barbie still in. That's broken, right? It's missing an arm or the head's missing, and it just has. Well, you want the head because the head's kind of creepy, but there's something's missing from it. Is that's why she throws that one in the garbage, which still sets up that scene with the hand taking it out of the garbage and then it showing up later,
Right.
Or alternatively, part of it is the knowledge that maybe he's in the garage because she put the Barbie in the garage. And then when they see the Barbie and the pizza boy, they're like, oh my God.
He's been in the house. Even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yes.
Okay.
We got this figured. We're doing so well.
We're doing good. Okay. I guess with the killer, I mean, typically you don't tell much about the killer.
I think you need a little bit of backstory on the original killings. I think that they need to be to sort of clarify that they were all teenage girls or something along those lines.
His MO has to be established because it wasn't really.
No.
There was nothing except that he killed 5 people and he escaped.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If we just establish a little bit more of that, I think that would be good. And honestly, I wouldn't show him so early. Just keep him in the shadows for as long as you can.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, because one thing that actually...
Or introduce more male characters. So there is a layer of doubt of, have we seen him yet?
Well, the next door neighbor, there's points where I'm like, I don't know what you want to do with him. Is he benevolent or pervy? I couldn't figure it out.
I think he's both.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's friendly to the family, so the family trusts him to keep an eye on things if there's any troubles, and he's the cool guy. It's like, well, hey, don't go too heavy on that weed there.
Maui wowie.
The Maui wowie. You know, he's
also been in the house when nobody else is home.
Yeah, the
just
cool
walks
guy
in.
just walks in, so he's a bit of a perv, he's a bit sketchy, but he acts all nice when people are around. So, but we could do a little bit more there where, you know, we have some
Misdirect.
doubts on him, and there should be. I think that we should be have doubts on at least most of the male characters, so maybe any of them could be, and maybe the killer was never here, and one of the killers is just taking advantage of the fact that this guy's on the loose, and
Nice.
and we never see Russ.
Like a kind of a Scream level type of deal where
Yeah.
it's misdirect.
Yeah, I see. I like the idea of
Or he
David
does show up at
content
the end.
getting. I actually have an idea. So
Okay.
we're going back to the doll.
Cool.
Okay, so he's the one who takes the Barbie.
Initially, I thought it was.
And well, that's
So-
what I
Me
did
too.
too, right?
Yeah.
So he actually is the one who takes the Barbie,
Okay.
and he's the one who gets killed by the Barbie.
Ooh.
He shows up with the Barbie in his eye, or better yet, stuffed down his throat with just a little head sticking out of his mouth.
Yes.
Do we have like a little scene from the backside, like he's sitting in his chair? We can see the Barbie sitting on the table, and a little bit of flap, 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 flap. Just make him extra pervy.
You know what? If we're going parody, that would work.
I mean, we don't
Yeah.
see it,
Yeah,
but we know what he's doing.
yeah,
The guy's jerking off to his neighbor's doll.
Who's your Ken? Who's your Ken?
yeah. Let's amp up his perviness. Yes.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. It's awful and it's wonderful. And you know what? You could even have him saying it.
Oh, you know what? But you know what you would need to do? Here's what I would prefer and demand if it's doing that. It's a naked Barbie, but he has drawn on the nipples and the bush just so that it looks like a proper female. I
Okay.
insist on that.
Okay.
And there's a Sharpie sitting next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm seeing that his end in my head with the Barbie head sticking out of his mouth, and I'm just like, I really like that visual.
It's good. I like it too.
I do too.
You've got it.
We're disgusting.
We really are. But that's the point of this. We're going parody, so we have to be a little bit pervy and disgusting.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, you had some thoughts about Kim before we started the show. She was the one with the longer, straighter hair that got
Yeah.
stuffed in the fridge. And Sam had
Sam
the
did.
thoughts.
Yes, about the
Kim.
actress actually, because we're talking about the women in horror, and we're talking about Amy Jones and Rita and Brink Stevens as sort of continuing to work in the industry, and Brink Stevens in particular in horror. But Deborah DeLisa, she's also still quite active in film, also generally in horror. She's I've got here, she's written, directed, she still acts, like she's still
Cool.
active, more behind the scenes. But she still appears in movies and in smaller roles and stuff like that. So this movie did start some careers, and a number of them stayed with the genre. If you want to just to sort of stay focused on that women in horror thing, is this was not just a sort of the first franchise that sort of focused on female directors and writers and sort of empowering them to be creative in the genre, but it also started some careers in the genre.
Yeah. Now, this character to me seemed a little more sporty, a little more spunky. She was, I don't know, like, I think if we have like a group leader with that conflict between Trish and Diane, this is the one that I see as more of the one they count on during the sports aspect. Like, she's the best among them as far as that goes.
I think so, and she's also, I see her being the one who sort of mediates when the conflict gets a little bit much. She's the one who kind of breaks it up. Right?
Yeah.
She says something funny, or she does something to break tension all the time. Right? Right? Like, because she just seemed like that kind of character, because she's always chipper and she's smiling, and she's also got the dirtiest mind, but she also seems really innocent, right? Because there's that scene where they're talking about what's in your mouth and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, it's not what's in it. It's not what's part of your mouth. It's not the size of it. It's what's in it that counts.
Yes, right. And I thought that was really funny. I mean, but she's always the one. Seems the one that sort of is kind of the joker of the group as well.
Well, and she's the one, she brings the beer, she brings the pot. She's like, we're
she's
ready
the
to have
fun one.
She's the fun one, yeah.
She's the one who sort of gets everybody.
And I think that's the character that will have the most fun dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and I would definitely, again, amp that up and give her some of the goofy lines and the fun lines
when
and
we
stuff
see her mediate more in the locker room and maybe even on the court, like we just up those aspects of that character so we get a real idea of the type of person she really is.
Yeah, and I'd love to, the scene where Trish chases after Val, I'd love to see Kim go with her. And be the one who says, don't take her too seriously. She just doesn't know you yet, right? She'll change her mind, right? She'll get to know you. Please come, right? But Val's like, no, I still have to stay home with my sister, right?
Yeah.
So she has another excuse not to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, mom's working late. I can't. I just can't.
Yeah. Right? And again, it sets that up.
Yeah.
Right? As to why those two are home alone.
Yeah. Now there's poor Jackie here who gets so little to do and say, but she does get the best scene in the entire movie when she does get something to say. And that's when the pizza boy and they've been huddled in the corner with their knives. They're like, maybe we should cover them up.
Yeah.
And so they cover them up. That's the scene I played at the beginning, and she eats the pizza. So she's one of these like, meh.
She's the practical one.
Yeah.
Right? She's the quiet. She sits back. She's the brainy one. Like she's the one who sort of sees the logic of situations and just rolls with things.
Yeah, I like the idea of just keeping her the most emotionless character, like the complete wrong reaction to the situation.
Yeah.
Yes,
every time,
which would make it funny. If
it was
funny, and it would give her own personality. Yeah,
yeah.
But I also like you say, like emotionless but smart. She's like sitting there going, well, honestly, if I were killing people, what I would do.
Yeah, you could have. It sets up dialogue so well.
Yeah,
and it also sets up sort of some of the logical fighting back kind of stuff that we want to do, where they're setting booby traps, like all on the Nightmare on Elm Street kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
where they're working on ways to defend themselves from this guy rather than just hiding in a room with a locked door.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'd love like part of one of the setups that Jackie had suggested and they did pays off, but it's after Jackie's dead.
You know what? We don't even kill Jackie. We think she's dead.
Oh.
Well, we do have that fake out with Jeff at one point where he's killed, where we think he's killed in the garage, and then the killer's off and kills Neil, goes back for Neil, and Jeff's kind of crawled off. So now we could replace that, because honestly those characters are just there to scare the girls and give us a bit of a fake out. We could still have that, but we could maybe play up the fact that maybe these guys, they're perving on the girls, but there's a genuine interest in some of them.
Yes.
Like maybe one of them is a boyfriend and it's just like, okay, they're having a girls' night, let's mess with them a little bit. She'll forgive me.
Oh, if you're going with one of them that's nerdy, I want one to be like just really interested in Jackie.
Yeah, Neil's definitely the nerdy one.
Yeah, but like Neil's like, he's like, well, do you think Jackie will be there? Like he's a little slightly obsessed because she's sort of his jam.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig that. And maybe Jeff is the boyfriend. I got the feeling in the movie like Jeff had interest in Trish, and it just wasn't reciprocated.
Which would play up on how we've developed the character a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
Right, and you can even have a really great piece of dialogue before they start. The killings already start. Is where Trish fesses up and she says, I don't think I'm into guys. Right, I'm still figuring that all out. Right, so where she.
I don't want that to be nailed on the head so brutally.
To have that, we could have like. We have the usual dialogue
I think
we would have at slumber parties, which is like, okay, so who do you like at school? And that's something that really did carry
one of the
on until I got
slumber
18.
party games. Yeah, okay, that I can get behind.
Yeah.
And then Trish is like, there's nobody that really, is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like she's just very obtuse about it.
Yeah, I mean, I would think, I'm like, it's been a while since I've been 18, and I certainly was never an 18-year-old girl. I would think the slumber parties are a little wilder now, a little different.
It's a lot of it is talk. It's those conversations. People who have had sex, you are asking them questions. You want to know what's going on. You're very curious. You want to know who likes who or who might like you. That was also a very big question that was had all the time. Does anybody like me?
Yeah.
It's very terrifying to know that.
Actually, you know what? Sorry, going back to Trish's dialogue about well, there's nobody I'm really like. She could say, there's somebody that I kind of interested in, but I don't think they feel the same way, so I'm just not going to say. I don't want them to know.
I like that.
Right?
Okay.
Right? Because again, it still leaves that ambiguity.
Yeah.
And maybe just a wistful look
Right.
across the street.
And then you could have Jeff kind of overhearing that part going, oh, I wonder if it's me.
Yep. And he's completely wrong.
And he's completely wrong. I think that would play actually really well.
Yeah. Okay, I kind of dig that. Let's see, who haven't we done a lot with yet? Courtney, the little sister.
I think that you're right. I think that Trisha's right that she's kind of a jockey, plucky younger sister. They suggest that she's quite a bit younger.
I think there's
She should be younger.
hero worships going on there.
Yeah.
I think she should be younger too, or if she's not as young, then don't make her dialogue so bad that she feels like she's somewhat challenged.
Yes. Yeah, there's some stuff to fix with Courtney, but I like Courtney's strength because she, at one point, is briefly the hero of a scene where she trips Rich.
I think they are a little, like, for me, I wanted to cast it where she was closer in age, but maybe like 3 or 4 years younger than her older sister.
Yeah, and that's the way I kind of cast it. I did cast so that she's visibly younger as well.
Yeah. But, even as if she was like 15 or 16, she'd have her stuff a little more together than this one does.
Yes. Yeah. But I still want to keep those scenes where she's exploring her curiosities with stealing her sister's magazines. Yeah. And I like the fact that her sister has the magazines again because it really points out the fact that women are sexual too.
Yes.
Yes, and that was something Amy Holden Jones has always said about the film, and always defended about the film.
Yeah,
well,
and we want to keep that
exactly. Like with Diane and John Minor, when the whole thing with when you're a teenager, is like, okay, no, sex is on the table, and I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to not.
Yeah.
What I like with Courtney and what I want to keep is that scene where her and Val, like Val's got the magazine and she's flipping through and she's saying their profiles. I want to keep that because it's sort of Val's like, this is... She doesn't want Courtney to be embarrassed by her sexuality.
Yeah. Maybe she just, nowadays, if you modernize it, she's like unlocked her sister's iPad or something.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. But
the same kind of thing, yeah.
Exactly. But they're not looking at hardcore stuff. They're looking at nude photos of men and kind of getting used to seeing male genitalia and like the moose scene does. It sort of helps Val's helping her sort of become comfortable with her own sexuality. And in the process, Val's becoming comfortable with her own as well. Mm-hmm. Right? This scene also establishes Val as an unattainable person for Trish because she's clearly interested in boys. Mm-hmm. Right? So it sets up that conflict for Trish as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at the end, it's still easy. And then at the end, oh my God, other thematically thing, your sexuality doesn't matter when you're fighting an evil killer. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, John Minor, football jock, obviously.
He needs no more. He does not need any more.
I love the fact that they just say his full name every time. Yeah. It's just ridiculous and have him killed off.
But really, he's there as a slab of meat. Leave him as a slab of meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want him to be goofy. Like, I want to show a little hint of why Diane does like him and that he is kind of sweet to her a little bit.
Yeah, he's sweet to her and he's a little bit charming to her, but in the end, he is
a slab of meat.
Yeah, and it is. It's like, well, who cares about your friends? You need to spend time with me. So he's a bit selfish.
Yes, right. Which he is is as well, but it's not as developed as maybe we should make it. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we've talked a little bit more about the coach, where she's a little more capable, and maybe she's teaching the fencing. And because she's the coach and a team leader, she's closer to the girls than maybe another teacher would be.
Yeah, and I mean, she's almost too close to her.
It is a little too close.
She really is a little close.
I would like to have her just a little bit older.
Yeah. No, age-wise, I thought they were too close, and I definitely went older.
Yeah, and
I as well.
If somehow in my infinite wisdom, I forgot to cast almost all the adults.
See, and I thought she was gay too.
I thought so too, especially with her super. I was kind of expecting that kind of dynamic.
Oh, and I was upset when the super's like, I'm just putting in your peephole. All she did was drill the hole. She didn't put the peephole in.
Yes, she did. I was going to point that out too, is because all of a sudden it was just there.
Yes. No, show me somebody putting in a peephole. I'm kind of curious.
I thought that was great. Like the drill comes out. I was thinking, wait, he's already inside?
Yeah, and that was a great
great fake out.
And
because we've established the drill a couple of times now, and here it comes in right right near her face.
Which would have been a great 3D scene, because that felt like a
I thought so too.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought of, like, that would have been good in 3D.
Absolutely.
There's no break, and all of a sudden the peephole's in.
Yeah.
And it bugged me. It bugged me. Inexplicably bugged me more than it should have, but it did.
Yeah.
It's not inexplicable. It should bug you. It's very upsetting.
I think we can leave out the cable installer. It seems pointless. If you're going to have that first kill, just make it a bigger scene, the Linda scene. Just make it a little bit longer, a little more cat and mousey. And I think that works quite well.
She goes like into the van and then does something else, and then he's in, and then out of the van, like reaches for something and he's there, like those little fake outs.
Well, if we're getting rid of the phone repair,
I mean,
you can
he
have a
could-
construction site at the school,
and
there.
he just takes
okay,
it.
yeah, there you go.
and there's and they have one of those drills
Shop.
there.
Yeah.
They have shop at that school.
Or
Yeah,
shop?
but they wouldn't have a drill like that in a shop.
No,
You never
maybe
know.
I'd say maybe
Yeah.
there's some construction going on
Yeah.
at the school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just near the street, and
Yeah.
it saves on it because honestly, the vehicle doesn't matter as much.
No.
I mean, as fun as it was seeing her get killed and nobody noticing.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, you just I felt like you could have had a little more character driven stuff there.
well, I expected more. It's sort of like her kill was like bang on the back window down, bang on the back window down. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's not as exciting as it could be.
No.
Well, and most of the kills aren't, to be honest, because
Yeah.
of the limitations of their budget and special effects in
And
1982.
location.
And
Yeah.
location, yeah.
But they were smart to use a lot of the ones where they're just off screen.
yeah.
Okay, I think we've run through the characters.
Yes.
And in doing so, we've got some great scene structure and character development as well. And that's what you really need to fill this movie out, because it is a typical slasher movie. There's usually not a lot of
Yeah.
depth, but you want to make it fun, and so you are invested in those characters. And that's why, and I want to keep that kind of sense of humor in there, like which that made something like Cabin in the Woods so much fun to watch.
I need an explanation for all the shelves in the fridge. That's one other thing I want, is they accidentally come across all the shelves in the fridge, because that's the only way you
Sure.
can get her in there.
Yes.
That's hilarious. I think that's fantastic.
How did they take out all the shelves?
They open a closet and it's like full of shelves and milk and apples and,
Yeah.
and just
what the
whatever
fuck
was
were they
in
doing?
the fridge.
How high
were
were these
they?
girls?
Yeah. They're like, no, we haven't touched the pot yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally. That
Wait,
would actually
this is
be
a
really
full
funny.
bag of pot. How did this happen?
What other drugs did you take?
Yeah, well, Valerie comes over and the door's open. Maybe that's one of the things she finds is like, what is all this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is wrong with these girls? I'm
I'm
glad I didn't come.
It would add a lot of the humor to it. I have a vision for actually what could be a very funny scene, a very funny and then disturbing right after. Is you have the scene, because there's a scene where he's putting the bodies into the trunk.
Yes.
And he's having trouble fitting them in, which was kind of
I
funny.
I thought that was
loved
funny.
that.
Yeah.
And he's counting them like he's obsessive compulsive.
Yeah, and I love that.
Well, that's
So-
why I thought he had to get to 5. That's what I thought he was doing. It has to be 5.
Well, it was because he realized one was missing.
That's exactly, and you could still do that, and I think that would be funny. And it could be Jackie instead of Neil or
Yeah.
Jeff or whichever one it was that was
Yeah.
kind of crawling away. But I have this sort of vision in my head, is that he's putting all the guys in the trunk because he doesn't really care about them. They were just in his way. And then all the girls, he's actually has in the garage. He's already starting to create a shrine of these girls that he's
posing them?
killed.
Yeah.
So you have sort of the funny, and then you do the counting bit.
Well, because he does says, you're so pretty.
Yeah, it sets up that.
So why would he
scene-
kill the boys if they're not?
Yeah.
And you could kind of establish it as like he's just sort of tossing them in like he doesn't care about them. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he puts, and it's just the guys.
Yeah.
And then you go to the scene where he's doing something with the girls, where he's sort of creating sort of a scene with the girls as a way of honoring them after he's killed them. Right. So it goes from kind of funny to
Really
disturbing,
dark.
really
Dark
dark.
and
And I
morbid,
think that
yeah.
would be a really great juxtaposition.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then it's all the crap in the garage that he's using to dress them up with. Like one of them was wearing her mom's wedding dress, another one her
Yeah,
prom
you can
dress.
have fun stuff like that. And so it's disturbing and funny at the same time. But it also kind of sets up Russ's mental state before you get the dialogue. Right? I think that would give the character a little bit of development as well.
And because it's a garage and you keep tools in there, if they're posed up on the walls, there's a corpse of Diane next to a hoe.
Oh no! Yes.
And
Well, and then what you have, like, what most shops have is like you put your tools on like
pegboard?
these pegboards.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the pegboards are the perfect way to pose somebody.
Yeah.
exactly. So I was thinking pose them, and we could have the tool that most represents the dead person.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what would you do with the funny one? Oh my God, there's a Billy Fish. You know the ones that do that? That's next to her. That's above. They're above each of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can even see it go
Hello,
on.
my honey.
Really subtle placement that sort of adds to their character. Yeah, and then with Jackie, you could have like a level or something like that, right? Right? But Jackie's not really dead yet, right? And maybe she never does die.
Yeah, you could have something that kind of almost predicts that she's going to get off and get a couple more shots in before she goes finally.
Exactly.
Yeah, or I mean, you don't have to kill everybody.
You don't.
No.
I mean, she can have her in really bad shape. But
I mean, at the end, she's like crawling towards. Maybe she has one final thing to contribute to the final battle.
Oh, well, I mean, even if she escapes, it could be as easy as just being a warning.
Yeah.
You know, if she's in bad shape, she's not going to get too physical.
The Billy Bass. She triggers it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, she gets off the
it's
pegboard and
sorta
it
funny,
triggers
but
the
it's-
Billy Bass.
Yeah.
He's coming.
I like it.
No, there we
It's
go.
tragic, but funny, but real fucking dark.
Just like waving, setting off the motion detector on it.
Yeah, no, that works exactly. It gives her surviving some purpose. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? We could totally reinvigorate the market for those fish if we do this right.
You're right.
Oh, the marketing for that would be awesome.
Well, it's Billy Bass, so it's Slumber Party
See.
Massacre.
Oh. We're so glad you're back.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey, we got anything else to add here? Because I'm interested to hear some casting here.
Yeah,
And this one was a little bit tougher because, we got to dig for age-appropriate people here.
well, and
Yeah.
so it's mainly diving into shows I don't watch, but
and
I had to do
my
a
cast
few.
is mostly people that I don't know well, or a couple of them I don't even know at all. But
Yeah, there's
I
some in
like their
mine.
look.
yeah, there's some like that in mine, and others I do watch the shows. So
Yeah, and mine kind of crosses over that, and
Yeah.
there's not very many names in my casting.
yeah. Now for me, it was like, okay, I wanted to make sure we had a diverse cast.
Me too.
I think it was very important to keep having a female director. So
As did I, yeah.
I'm assuming everybody did that as well.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's contribute to our women in horror with our title character, Trish.
Yay! Okay, so I went a different way with this because I was like, I just, like I say, I like the diversity, and I was like going, I want a Trish who I would like to look like, and because she's really, the Trish I went for is Andrea Bang. She's in Kim's Convenience. She's the younger sister.
Oh,
I
okay.
just think she's just cute
Okay.
as hell, and I like the thought of like a diminutive heroine.
Mine was kind of in the smaller size as well, and she's a good lead. So, but yeah, I kept her a little smaller as well.
And then
The
Valerie-
unlikely hero, right?
Right, and that's sort of part of it. We're also doing the trope of like how will women defend themselves? Well, that's the thing. Like the unlikeliness is part of what the
Yes.
feminism is. Valerie, Carly Chaikin, she's on Mr. Robot. She plays Darlene.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I think she's really cool. Okay, Diane Amandla Stenberg. I think I've got that written down right. She was Rue in the Hunger Games.
Okay.
Okay.
And she's sort of spunky, so I'm like, I just like that idea as well. I think she's sort of got that a handle on that. And then I had for Kim, Portia Doubleday, also for Mr. Robot.
Okay.
She might look a little older, but it's there. And then Jackie Alexa Vega
Yeah, I was
from
like,
Spy Kids.
That's funny. I cast her sister.
oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
I was trying to cast actors that were basically born in the 90s.
Yeah.
In their early 20s or just barely 20.
She
That-
could
as did I,
play
yeah.
younger, I think, if you dress like she's dressing older in the show. So I think if
Yeah.
you dressed her younger, she could totally pass
Sure.
for that. And then for Courtney, I had Maisie Williams, Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
And then-
Arya Stark, the best character in the show.
Right,
I'll take
and
your
then
word
so
for it.
like she is Courtney. She could totally do Courtney.
Again, I'll take your word for it.
for
Get off my back. I still haven't watched it.
well, I'm waiting till the next season finishes, and then I'm gonna binge it all from like 7 on, because I sort of stopped around there.
As am I, except I'm going to, from episode 1 on. Episode 1 is the only one I've seen. Sorry.
That's all right.
Everybody at home just rolling their eyes.
That's okay. Sometimes with the
They know why.
There's
They
a lot
understand.
of between seasons. You're on edge, so good on you. That's a
There
smart
you
way to
go.
do it.
And as my child Skylar says,
I would have
you could
been
start
on it.
watching it at the end of at the start of season 4. It just backfills everything that happens in seasons 1, 2, and 3.
I would have been on. Everybody knows I would have been on board from day one, but everybody kept spoiling it for me, so I just refused to watch it until I forgot what everybody told me.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Sometimes the overhype, I get a little bit.
Yeah, I'm
I
the same
won't
way.
do it. I won't do it on
Hype turns
principle.
me off. Yeah.
Yeah, I've read the books.
I'm
so
not
it took me a
joining
while
the
to
you
get into
cool
it.
kids. I'm going to go find the thing that's even better that you're not watching.
Yes.
That's how ahead of the game I am.
Blood Drive.
Blood Drive.
Drive.
See how I worked that in there?
But we also want to be the things like I want to give an audience to things that probably aren't necessarily getting an audience. I probably should have
Yeah,
one.
Game of Thrones didn't need me.
Right?
They didn't
There's
need
other
me.
stuff that needs us.
That's right.
Exactly.
Okay, for the coach, I went with, as we were talking, the woman who played Kim in the original, I went with her. It was Deborah DeLisa?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
I would
that is
go with that
cool.
with the coach as well. That goes to our throwback to the originals.
True, and she's also very sporty, so it would be, that would be a great callback, because she is the sporty one. We made her the sporty one.
I did cast a coach, but I'm down with that.
Yeah,
as
I'm
well.
totally down with it since I didn't cast one. So
Yeah.
And the killer, I went with John Ortiz, who was the bad guy in Fast 4,
yeah.
because he looks a lot like the guy.
He kind of does, yeah.
And then my director is Catherine Bigelow, because I like watching her do action stuff.
We might
'Cause
be
she could
talking
add more
about her
action.
later in the month.
Maybe just might be.
Maybe. I don't know.
So yeah, that's my casting.
That is awesome casting, as usual.
Thank you.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, okay.
My turn.
Yes, yeah, for the second build person, Val, he's married to, so
Yeah,
that's the order we're going in.
Yeah, we're going to go in billing of the women.
There we go.
I don't have any connections here, so
Yeah, no, you don't.
only through the people I know.
Oh, there we go.
Which is why.
You have to know a Jackie or a Kim.
I don't know any Jackies or Kims.
Oh.
At least not currently.
Not currently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll start with my Trish. I cast an actress named Madison Pettis. She's in a lot of TV stuff. She's mostly in the TV show called The Fosters, which is excellent.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful young woman. She's in her early 20s, but can play younger because in Foster she plays a high school kid. So I thought she'd be a really good fit. And she's small, pretty, and multicultural. Gotta love the multicultural. For my Val, I cast Molly Quinn, who plays Castle's daughter in Castle, or played Castle's daughter in Castle. Right? Again,
Okay.
she's in
Nice.
her early 20s, and I know she's a good actress. That
Awesome.
works. I'll save Russ Thorne for last. My Kim was Mackenzie Vega, sister to
Nice.
Alexa Vega, and she's been in a lot of stuff. She's in Sin City. She was in 13 Reasons Why. Right, so she's coming into her own as an actress.
Awesome. So we could go with either one because they're siblings.
Exactly, you could do them both.
I got
you could
somebody
do,
from
you
13
could do
Reasons.
Alexa as Val and Mackenzie as Courtney.
Nice.
I like that.
You could do. I easily do that.
Yep. Then they'll look related.
Then they'll,
Yes.
yeah. Well, my Courtney it looks a lot like Molly Quinn too, so I went with somebody who does look similar. But for my Jackie, I went with an actress by the name of Paris Berelc. I can't even say it. It's Berelc. She's done a lot of teen TV stuff. Most notably, she's one of the lead characters in a show called Alexa and Katie, which I haven't seen, but
I've heard of it.
yeah. But again, a nice looking young woman.
IMDb rabbit hole. We're having faith in you.
Yes,
Yes.
we are. Yeah, because she's worked a lot in the few years that she's worked.
Yeah.
And being a series regular on a teen TV show kind of sold me.
Okay.
Well, yeah, playing a teen all the time.
For my bitchy character, I've used her before, and I'm going to use her again for Diane. I went with Bella Thorne.
She came across me too.
Yeah.
I was going to give her
Yeah.
another.
I didn't want to cast her in one of the lead roles, but I liked her so much in The Babysitter.
Yes.
That this is a similar type of character. I thought let's just keep her there. She can kind of keep that punky look that she has naturally too. Right? I think that would add something really fun, dynamic to that character. She has the piercings and she's not a mean girl, but she's walking that edge.
Okay.
Yeah. For my Courtney, I went with her name is Raffi Cassidy. She's been in movies such as Tomorrowland, Killing of a Sacred Deer. So she's
very capable.
Very capable, yes. Yeah. I mean, when you're working with, and she's got a movie coming out with, actually last year was in a movie with Natalie Portman as well that I really want to see.
Right.
Which names escapes me right now, but I'll find out. For my Jeff, I went with Christian Navarro from 13 Reasons Why.
Nice.
And then for my Neil, I went with Ross Lynch, who plays Harvey in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Nice.
And then for my Russ Thorne, I went with an actor that I really, really like. He looks like he could be related to the original actor. I went with Titus Welliver. He was in our episode of Assault on Precinct 13. He was in Gone Baby Gone. He's the lead in a TV series on Prime called Bosch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think
Yeah, he's kind of a gruff, mean-looking man, but he's also a really good actor. And when he's playing the nice guy, he's actually kind of fun to watch, too.
Cool. How does he rock all denim? Like our killer in this one.
I'm sure he'll be just fine. And then for my director, I went with somebody who's already done sort of feminist horror. I went with Cora Lee Firgit from the director of Revenge. Because if you want somebody who's going to take the feminist perspective and make it work and really amp up the gore, that's your girl. So yeah, that's where I went with that.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, I got a lot of people here to run through as well. We're going to have at least casting crossovers from shows, but not the same people.
Okay.
Nice.
So this will be fun. For my lead, Trish, I went with Kiernan Shipka from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. She plays Sabrina.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's why I stayed away from her, actually.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, she's got that innocence, but we see her as a strong lead in that. I'm like, okay, I kind of dig her. She kind of has the vibe, and considering the character we've went with, I figured that that's just builds even better for her. For my Diane, I went with Cameron Bicondova. She plays Selena Kyle on Gotham.
Oh yes. Yep.
So, that I think there'll be a nice rivalry there. Just when I think about the type of character she would be as Selena Kyle, I'm like, okay, all right, this is, and especially what we've come up with now, I'm like, all right, this is working towards my casting quite nicely. For my Valerie, I went with Natalia Dyer from Stranger Things. Okay. She's the older sister, and I think she's kind of got the innocence look quality that Valerie would have. For my Kim, I went with Karen Fukuhara from Suicide Squad. She played Katana.
She was one of the people that I was looking at.
Yeah, and I wanted to add a little more multiculturalness to the cast.
Make it more honest to the way our world is now.
Yeah, because it's it felt like there was just like one token in the movie, and it bugged me. So. For my Jackie, I went with Alicia Bowe from 13 Reasons Why. Nice. Just because I liked her look. I've never seen the show. I'm never going to see the show.
That's one of those ones. I know what it's about. I don't know if I could get through it.
That's just... That doesn't seem like a topic I want to watch. For my Courtney, I went with Tegan Croft, who plays Raven on Titans.
Nice.
Also somebody I considered. Again, but
I love the crossover.
Well, I had to consciously think about it because Jay and I have a lot of the same watching tastes.
Yeah.
Right? So I know that Jay tends to sort of go with the stuff that he's comfortable with and actors he recognizes, which is the way we should do it. Right? So I had to cast some actors I didn't know well just to make sure I wasn't...
stayed out of my way.
Basically, I stayed out of Jay's way. Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly what I did.
For my Linda, I went with Carlson Young from the Scream TV series, since she's our first kill. Very pretty girl that's on that series, and no stranger to horror.
Yes. Well, it's Scream.
It's Scream. For Russ Thorne, our killer, I went with Charles Aiken. He's from The Nick and Happy Death Day.
Which one is he?
The dude?
Oh, the guy in the hospital room?
I don't remember his name, but he's one of the friends.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I think I got it.
For my Jeff, I went with Dylan Minette from Don't Breathe and Let Me In.
Also from 13 Reasons Why.
For Neil, he's got the geekier look we were talking about. We were on the same page there. Yay. I went with Keir Gilchrist, and he was in It Follows.
Oh yes.
And he's also in something else. He's actually in a lot of stuff. He does this.
Yeah, he's a busy actor.
He's
but
a very
that was
busy actor.
The
He's
one
so
I thought
talented.
most people would recognize him from. For my coach Jana, I went with Alicia Vela Bailey, who was in Lights Out, and is primarily a stunt woman.
Nice.
Which I wanted to have that really fit build for the gym teacher. She's in her 40s, but she did stunts on Wonder Woman.
Nice.
So it gives you an idea of the kind of stuff she does. So I thought that would come in handy in a myriad of ways. But she's also done regular acting as well. So I thought she'd be really great for this. And for my John Minor, just because he looks like a dumb jock, I went with Jake Sim. He was in It.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got the thick build,
Yep.
much like the character in the movie had. So, unfortunately, I didn't cast.
Thick built in the brain and the body.
I didn't cast David Contant. I forgot the neighbor.
Oh.
But hey, how about Nicolas Cage?
Nice.
There we go.
I didn't do my neighbor.
Especially with how we talked about him. Do you have a neighbor?
Sam Rockwell.
Also, very good choice. Yes. Love
Do
that choice.
Pervy, but a little bit charming.
Yes, also excellent choice.
Yay.
Okay, for
Nicolas
my
Cage.
director, I went with Marty Noxon. Now, she's an actress-director. She's directed To the Bone with Keanu Reeves back in 2017.
Nice.
And you can catch her on screen in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She's been involved in a few episodes there because I wanted somebody who's directed a few episodes of that too, because we talked about the Whedon-esque dialogue aspect of this. So I wanted somebody who would understand how to do that. But if you want to catch her on screen, she's a really good singer as well. So she's in the Sing-Along blog. She's also does the
Nice.
parking ticket song in the Buffy musical.
Okay. I did not. I know. As soon as you said Marty Noxon, I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because if you're a Buffy fan, you know who Marty Noxon is.
Yeah, I was doing that
did
for
not know that she was actually in episodes. I did not know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So there's somebody, if you want to check her out, her on screen, that's where you can find it, is in Buffy and the Dr. Horrible sing-along blog. And
much more of a feeling.
Yeah, and unfortunately I didn't write down the particular episode she directed, but she's directed about 4 episodes of Buffy.
Well, and she's also a producer on like the last
She's-
like 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah, she's done a lot of producing
4 or 5
as well.
seasons, yeah.
Lots of producing credits as
Lots
well.
and lots of
So
producing credits,
I thought, okay, let's see what else let's watch you do a feature here. I think she's completely understands what I at least want out of this movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're talking Buffy,
If I can't do Drew
combination-
Goddard, I want the female equivalent of her.
True. And the combination we want of the comedy
Yeah.
and the horror and the action.
Yeah.
That's Buffy.
Yeah.
And that is my one concern with my director, because if you've not seen Revenge, be prepared, because there's no funny at all in that movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like Catherine Bigelow, she hasn't done a lot of funny, but like she can do the themes. But I mean, there's some funny parts of Point Break that I really liked.
Yeah, and there's some funny points in one of my favorite of her movies as well. There's some really great comedic dialogue.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
yeah, and in Strange Days, there's some pretty good
Yeah.
bits.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Well, I think we had some great casting here, and all of those would be very watchable, and we came up with some fun ideas, and it really comes down to making these believable characters, because slashers are slashers. They have the same basic structure, and you got to make it feel different by just believing in the characters and the metaphors that horror often represents. Yeah. And I think that's strongly here, and you want to really keep the female ideal and the feminism aspects of this particular horror movie intact, and let's get back to the core of what the intention was.
Yeah, and that's why I like the idea that we're not necessarily killing off everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they didn't even in the original, but even take it a little bit further and keep Jackie alive.
Yeah, I don't think the gratuitous nudity is needed at all. None of us have really mentioned it, and I don't think there's
The only
much
place where
point
it fits
of it.
is the scene where the 2 guys are lurking in the window. It actually makes sense to be there.
Yeah.
Because it actually is part of the story.
And part of that too is also like, again, as a girl who grew up, if you're getting
I guess
changed, there's not that much shame in doing
I
it.
guess maybe if we're talking about exploring the sexuality aspects of Trish, maybe the shower scene is important. I mean, you can shoot in such a way where you're not
Yeah.
seeing a whole lot.
And they
The
do it all the
characters
time.
should be the ones that see it. We don't need to.
Yeah, like you can see some conflict with her. Like, I mean, that look that they share, that's, I think, important. But the conflict sort of with Trish should be there as well.
Yeah. There's an opportunity there to sort of have them sort of make that look, and Valerie sees the look that she's getting from Trish, and it makes her uncomfortable, which kind of feeds into the scene there later where she doesn't want to go to the slumber party.
Ooh, yes.
Right? Because she's not really sure how Trish feels about her. Like she gets what's happening more so than anybody else.
And you can also have, like, okay, if you're actually putting any nudity in, it could be Trish, like, just kind of glancing about and being like, what is, like, she's gonna look. That's what she's attracted to.
If you're going to do nudity, there's nothing wrong with a bare bottom scene. Right?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
not at all.
Right.
Show me a bum. I'm fine with a
right.
bum.
And you can even have Trish
side boob.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You can have nudity without being gratuitous about it. You don't need to be showing off full frontal and lingering close-ups.
Yeah,
But yeah, I can't wait to show scenes where they're getting undressed in better underwear. Like, the 80s underwear was bugging me at a certain point. I'm like, you'd like the saggy, warpy bits, and I'm like, no.
yeah, tremendously unsexy.
Uncomfortable, I will tell you as well. Lived through it.
We've come a long way, baby.
We really have. That's the thing about some of these movies. Like, I'm looking at it going like, yeah, I lived through that.
The advancement of underwear technology.
Yes. Advancement of underwear
Even for
technology.
men, it's advanced. I'm sorry, but it's true.
Oh, the boxer brief? That's
you
been brilliant.
Got to keep everything there.
Well, in the tidy whities, no. But
No.
boxer brief, yes.
Oh yeah, that was the best discovery.
Yeah. So yeah, it's true. Underwear has advanced.
Come a long way, all of us. And it's
What
brilliant.
a great use of technology.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that was the Slumber Party Massacre. That was more fun than I thought it was going to be honest. 'Cause it was a bit arduous to watch. It doesn't age particularly well, but for a first feature, it got somebody's career off the ground, and I think that's awesome.
Absolutely. And that was the whole thing. Like, I mean, it's I think we found the nuggets of what was supposed to be in there,
I
and
think
we've rediscovered them and put them back in and grew them into something good.
Yeah. And you know what? If she's available still, if I were going to have a writer come back, I would have Rita come back.
Yes.
Sure. I mean, I would love to see, given
What
just
her vision
enough,
was?
well, and just given enough time to do it properly, what Amy Holden Jones would do now instead of having to rush out and. It'd be unfortunate. Watch, she'll do it again. She'll do her own remake, and the next ET will come along, and she'll be like,
no.
"Fuck, not twice,
Yeah.
twice."
Oh, that would be heartbreaking. But if you guys are listening, we'll help you. We want to be in.
I'll deliver a pizza.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what I would do. I'll be the mom that leaves. That's what I'll do.
Or you can be...
You could be the picture of maybe one of the crime scene photos from the original killings that they talk about.
Or you can be the building super who puts the drill through the door.
Oh, you know what? Yes, I want to be the building super, and I will finish that fucking people.
There we go. Picking up what you're putting down.
Exactly. I will do. This is important to me. I want to see it happen.
Sam's going to have an Alfred Hitchcock thing, walking a dog
Yeah.
across the screen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see you as being the dad.
I can deliver the 2 lines of dialogue he has.
There you go.
Yeah. Or you know what?
Sam's got some on-screen
I
experience.
like that. Or maybe you could. I would even like to see Sam be the neighbor.
You know what? It's funny. I was thinking the same thing. I would do it. I would absolutely do it.
I think you could tread that
I
line.
could-
I have very big belief in you. I think you could do it.
I think I could be the skeevy, pervy, creepy neighbor. Yeah.
All right.
Slightly charming.
but the one
Die
but
with
the
a Barbie in his
But
eye?
the one you're like you're not sure. Yeah, you're skeevy and pervy, but you do still care whether they die or not.
Well, of course I care, because then what am I going to leer at?
True. And you could kill snails. I know you could.
His window's facing the best direction.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know,
I would love to see you drawing on
to
nipples.
talk about the snail killing.
Yes.
Oh, the snail.
The snail hunt. I didn't get that.
No.
We've never had snails.
Well, and you know what? I didn't understand the whole hacking them in half to kill them kind of thing. But it sets up the counting, because he's counting how many snails he kills.
Oh.
Right. And it also creates that scene where Diane is getting the wood, and then she gets startled because by the snail, and then by the hatchet.
Diane's
and you think,
getting
the
wood.
killer,
Yeah,
right?
she totally wanted to.
Yeah, it certainly feels. It starts to set up.
There was a
wanted.
joke there, wasn't there?
Yeah, she was
and it
getting
just
wood.
didn't. She was getting wood.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But that was also something that
That plays
they
really
didn't
good after the blowjob conversation.
Yeah.
But also what they didn't do, what they could have done is we have wood too, and they're beating the guy to death with like the wood. That would be useful. Beating him off his mortal coil.
I don't get it.
Sorry, I had to go
don't
there.
Don't apologize.
No
do not
apologizing.
Yes,
My brain goes down those deep wells.
And then, I kind of like it, to be honest. I mean, if you
All right.
want to get into the parody, that's getting you right onto that parody train, and it's taking you all the way to Laughville.
We're totally getting off on it. It's great.
I'm usually the one that does the puns,
Yeah.
but that's okay. I'll let you have them.
Yay.
Because you're so much better at it today. You're all refreshed from a
I'm
few
all
weeks
refreshed,
off.
so I can come and bring those back. It's been eating at me. I've got to get them out now.
That's right. They've been just welling up inside.
They've been building the pressure.
And now it's all just coming out.
Yeah. Like the blood in most of the movies. It should have been.
Yeah, that's one thing that does need to happen is the gore that the murder.
the effects just weren't very good in this,
and
yeah.
again, when you look
That's
at
a budget restraint.
yeah, yeah.
And also budgetary when you're looking at like doing a bloody gory scene. You do it once, and then if you have to do another one, like you got to clean them up, you got to reset. That takes a lot of time and effort and money.
And let's face it, Amy Jones was an inexperienced director, and like I said, there's some stuff that she did really, really well. Mm-hmm. Like she has a great eye.
Yeah, there's some times where I was pretty impressed of just her camera positioning.
Yeah.
And
I like the bit where Val is watching the horror movie, which is mimicking the guy getting stabbed outside.
Yes.
That was, and they're showing her eyes and like stuff happening. That was good.
yeah, no, there's definitely some moments in this movie to appreciate for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So they have to be watching Slumber Party Massacre in our remake.
That'd be funny if they were watching the original film.
But they're watching the part where she's watching the movie.
I like that. Yes.
so Boris is eating its own tail.
Yeah.
Inception level.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and only geeks like us would get it.
Exactly. It's something for the horror nerds for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that was Slumber Party Massacre, our first entry into Women of Horror Month. And Women in Horror, this is the 10th anniversary, so we'll be celebrating it for the rest of the month. And we've got 3 more great episodes ahead of us. But don't forget, there are other podcasts also getting involved with their own specials as well. If you want to check them out, look for the hashtag AllTheHorror on Twitter or follow at AllTheHorror18 on Twitter to get filled in on everything that's Women in Horror Month on those podcasts.
And don't forget to check out Women in Horror on Twitter as well.
Yes.
We're not the only people doing stuff. There's
Yeah.
a ton of other stuff going on. So yeah, check out at WIHM on Twitter. They have a website. It's all linked to from their Twitter. If you're not a Twitter user, you'll have to do a little legwork. But definitely, it's worth doing the legwork. Support the blood drive because it is a good cause. It's accomplishing 2 goals in one event, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and think giving blood, you go there, you get a cookie and some juice. It's nice.
Yeah. And hey, we're not asking for blood from you, but we are asking for maybe a 5-star rating and a review on the platforms you most enjoy us on. And we are on a ton of different platforms, so please spread the love and tell everybody where to find us. Most notably, we are on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Radio Public, and so many more. If you want to check it out, check out our social media feeds. We are at Invasion Remake on Twitter, Invasion the Remake on Facebook and Instagram, and Invasion the Remake at gmail.com if you want to email us your suggestions and your corrections and your comments. We'd love to hear from you. And we got our link trees up there as well, so you can find even more places to enjoy the show. And of course, we drop every Tuesday as a podcast, and if you're listening to us on YouTube, we're every Thursday there, so make sure you keep your
earballs
on the show.
Jay missed that so much.
Back for that.
Yeah, I did. I tried to fit one in the other day. I don't know, one of the episodes while you're away, but it just didn't feel right.
It felt awkward and kind of forced.
You're forcing things into people's
It was my
earballs?
sadness showing.
Yes.
Aw. Stuffing the earballs. Just stuffing them in.
Did we say we missed you? I might have to take that back.
Sorry, like I said, there's been a lot of buildup. I'm
Line.
exploding right now.
There's a
all over Sam's face, neck, and chest.
It doesn't matter what's in my body. It doesn't matter how big my body is. What's in it?
There we go. And on that note,
I've been Jason.
I am always Sam.
And I continue to be Trish.
And we are out of here.
Pretty. All of you are very pretty.
Please don't do this.
I love you.
Please. I didn't hurt you. Please don't do this.
It takes a lot of love for a person to do this.